So let's, without further ado, go to our next caller. Brad, you're on the air.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for getting me on. I'm calling regarding what Ms. Dunderdale had to say about the water management agreement.
Yeah.
And, sorry?
Yeah, yes, go ahead, by all means.
Okay. First of all, Bill, I don't think really as a minister of the Crown, given that these cases, mine included, are in front of the courts right now, she should really be commenting on those cases, those sort of things. However, seeing that she did, it's amazing to me. She's just completely misleading the people of the province about that water management.
In what way? Why specifically?
Specifically, the force majeure parts of that agreement, which means, usually an act of God or some sort of thing, right, which negates the contract. In the water management agreement, it refers to any government action or regulations or orders as part of that. So in other words, the government of Newfoundland is saying, well, we'll respect the power contracts and all the rest of it, but if we decide not to, it voids our word. So she's not being upfront with the people about it and how shaky of a ground we really are on it, and
okay, we're on shaky ground. Just reducing it to terms that ordinary people who are not preoccupied with this but are going about their daily business, that they can understand. You say we're on shaky ground. What could happen of a disastrous nature, in your view, to the province as a result? Well,
here's what she mentioned, the shareholders agreement, which is good, because what could very easily happen here is we continue building this project. The water management agreement is found to be unconstitutional. That means that Muskrat Falls cannot produce more than 20% power on average without that water management agreement, which means that CFALCO will go bankrupt. And with that, and according to the shareholders agreement that she referred to, Hydro-Quebec has the right, the first crack at any, basically any shares or whatever that come up from CFALCO, and under the power contract of 1969, it has the right to run the Upper Churchill should CFALCO go bankrupt.
So the government of Quebec, or Quebec Hydro, could take over completely ownership of the Upper Churchill power, you're saying?
Exactly. This is the game of fire that these people are playing with. Not only are they putting us in peril with the money, with the financial aspect of it, but because of the agreement that Brian Tobin and company signed back in 1998, the shareholders agreement, they're also putting us in a position where we can lose actual control over even the Upper Churchill, and that's not a far stretch. It's all there in the shareholders agreement and in the 1969 power contract.
And this was caused by a previous Liberal government.
Two previous Liberal governments, Joey Smallwood and Brian Tobin, Dean MacDonald.
Yeah, the shareholders agreement you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, that was caused by a Liberal government under Brian Tobin. They left us in this mess.
Exactly. Tobin went and signed that deal, and he signed that deal, as Ms. Dunderdale said, before he had secured the development of the Lower Churchill with Hydro-Quebec. So they said, well, thank you very much for giving us complete control and veto, and now we're not going to sign the rest with you.
How can you support a blundering party like that, Brad, that's caused so many problems for this province?
I'd say that every party at some point in time, including the present one, has caused the province some issues, except for the NDP, of course, they haven't had a chance yet. But
sorry about laughing there, but I think maybe they precluded any chance of causing any blunders.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? This is more a case of, in my opinion, individuals as opposed to parties. Individuals come and go out of parties, and you hopefully get more good individuals in each party as you go along, and you change the way mistakes. You learn from your mistakes of the past.
Yeah, well, that's what the NDP said. They're learning as they go. All right, we won't pursue that. But listen, thank you very much for raising that issue. I knew you had some interesting comments to make on the water management agreement and the shareholder agreement, and thank you for making them. I have to go now to news at the top of the hour, but anyone else who would like to jump in on it, I hope they will follow your example.
Thanks very much for the opportunity, Bill.
Anytime. All the very best. Bye-bye.